Okay, so let's take a look at how you can create stacked area chart. So there are multiple ways to get this chart, one through ggplot, one through the official area plot library, or you can say package. So let's say I choose to use this area plot option. So install packages, let's go with area plot, right? Install this, and after that we'll take a look at our data set. Right now in RStudio you can create a new R script. Right now here I have data frames, and let's say I choose longly and then set the X, which is going to be our data frame for year. Right, so if I run this particular line, I can take a look at that data. So here you see this is our longly data for 16 observation with 7 variables, say 1 2 3 4 5 6 7. Okay, so we have our data ready. Now we can go with value for y. So data frame, where we create an array for 1 2 3 4 5 and 7. So we have our data ready with value of data frame x and y. Right now what we can do is we will go for area plot. Right, so now here what I can do is can use area plot and pass on x y and then main. So main should be our title, stacked area plot. Right, and then for x-axis I want to have a label. So x label I want to put in year because that's the data we fetched from our data frame. Right, so what we can do, we run this first line. Right, then we select the second and run it. Here we have our stacked area plot. We can zoom in and see how it looks. So notice that it is using the color black, shades it with white and shows up our data. We'll experiment with color. So for that what we can do, we can add, let's see, color with goals variable. So here I can use HCL dot colors. Here we can pass on few values. Right, so palette we can select as VBDs. Right, so VBDs. Right, there are multiple palettes to choose from. You select the one that fits your case. Right, also I set alpha value 0.8. Right, and then I will have to also add goals. Goal is equal to goals. Right, so if I run this particular HCL colors palette does not match any given palette, so there seems to be issue with palette. So we'll try and find that option. For now let's go with palette. So here let's say valid palette name, so HCL pals. So we can search with that, and within this let's say HCL color palette. So we search for that. Okay, so let's try and search. Okay, when you search you will find some of these. So here you can have various names, so sequential, diverging, right, a lot of them. So we can use something like plasma or sunset. Let's go with sunset. Let's put it here and then run this statement. Right, we have our color. Now we can run the area plot statement and we have our sunset based stacked area plot. Right, it shows the sunset color. Right, so what we have done so far, we created one basic area plot, then we experimented with color, added this color palette, right, and we can also take a look at border, right. So to add the border we will have to experiment again after this color. So border, and let's see if I want to have white border, so that will kind of eliminate the separation at the end, right. So line width set to 1, then line type set to 1. Now we can run this and see where it shows, and let's zoom in, and here you see the separation gets a bit reduced, but it's not totally invisible. You do see the white lines, it just looks better than the darker one. That's the only difference, right. We also forgot about one more thing, which is legend, right. Legend gives you option to see exactly what is going on with your stacked area plot, right. So let me minimize this or close this entirely. Right, now here I want to see if we have option for legend, right. So if I use comma in next line, I can use legend set to true, right. Also on next line I want to use arcs dot legend, right. Here I want to use list, and within that function I want to use x equals to, let's say, top left, because that's the position where I want it to appear, right. And then next thing I will be using 0.65, right. So if I select this line and run it, right, legend appears. Now let me zoom in to show you exactly how it looks. So here you see it gets more clarity over the data, right. So armed forces, population, employed, unemployed, GNP, deflator, you get all those values with their respective color codes on the left hand side as a part of legend. So I'm not clearly sure if I can edit some of the size of these, try and adjust it, but it seems like the default one, right. So let me close this. Now what we can do is we can also try different libraries instead of using the area plot one. Okay, so we can use cookbook library by using install packages and then type in cookbook, right. So if we use this particular gcookbook package, we can restart the session and get the library to work, right. So let it install the package. Once done, we can write the new script, right. So here within new script I can type in cookbook gcookbook, right. Then next thing we can use ggplot, and here I can use data like US pop h, right. And then I can give AES some of the data like, let's say, X set for year, right. Then Y set for thousands, then field equals to age group, right? So that kind of does the work. Now finally we can concatenate geom underscore area and let it draw, right? So let's first see how our data looks, right? So data and g cookbook, right? So first we call for library, right? Then we will try to look at this cookbook data. Okay, so missing, it needs something in particular, so we use us pop page and try to look at this data, right? So if I run this, right, let's see if it shows something, and if we double click on it, it should show us this large data, right? So let me check some of its columns. So it has year, age group, and thousands and its column. So AES takes X, Y, and field takes age group, right? So now we have seen the data. What we can do is we can select this and run. So reason it says ggplot cannot be found is because I didn't add the library. So ggplot2, right? So I can now run this. Sorry, I will have to run ggplot. Okay, then I will have to run this. We have our new stacked area chart with a different library, gcookbook and ggplot, right? So we took different data set and got the output for stacked area.